And here with more insight on the negotiations taking place in Cairo is Ghaith Al-Omari, a senior fellow at the Washington Institute's Irwin Levy Family Program on the U.S.-Israel strategic relationship and a former Middle East peace negotiator. Ghaith, great to be with you today. Thank you for your time. Let's talk a little bit more about this latest proposal, your thoughts on it, and what stands out to you.
All right, thank you very much. Actually, it's an interesting one because in terms of substance, in terms of the content, it's not very different from previous proposals. I mean, the same outlines, 1 day of truce for every hostage released, no permanent ceasefire, no end of the hostilities afterwards. What has changed is really the context. And all of the three major parties are now under pressure. And actually, something might come out of it. The Israelis are under pressure because domestically, the families of the hostages are basically saying this is a major priority. This is the first priority. So the government is under pressure. And the U.S. is also pressuring Israel. Hamas is under pressure as well. Military pressure because of Israeli actions and the threat of an attack on Rafah, which is becoming more imminent, as well as under Hamas's own backers in the region. Turkey and Qatar are under pressure from the U.S. to deliver. And the U.S. is under pressure, both from its Arab allies. Blinken right now, the Secretary of State, is in Saudi and he's being pressured, but also for domestic reasons. We see demonstrations in campuses, etc. So I think the context has changed. It's more likely right now, but of course we'll only know once a deal is struck.
Yeah, and you brought up Secretary Blinken, and he called this latest offer to Hamas, quote, extraordinarily generous. Ghaith, would you characterize it that way?
Well, I think, again, what we see from the Israelis is movement on two specific issues. One, initially, the Israelis insisted on 40 hostages being released. Now, reports indicate that they're willing to accept only 33. So that's a move. And the other move is Israel indicates that it's going to allow some of the people who are right now in the south of Gaza to move back to the north of Gaza, which Israel was not willing to do earlier. But beyond that, as I mentioned, the fundamentals have not changed. And most importantly, Hamas wants one thing. Hamas wants a permanent ceasefire because it knows that the hostages are literally its human shields. And if it gives them up, then its leaders who are hiding in bunkers right now underground will be exposed. So from that respect, from the core issue that Hamas wants, it has not changed. But certainly the Israelis have moved a bit in terms of their demands.
Yeah, and how important is it to get this deal done? I mean, do you think Hamas can even come up with enough hostages to fulfill the deal?
I think this is exactly why the number went from 40 to 33. Of course, we don't know the intelligence on this, but there are many indications that actually many of those hostages, unfortunately, are no longer with us and no longer alive. So for Hamas, it's very unlikely that it can produce anymore.
And do you think, Ghaith, that a deal could be the first step in creating a lasting peace and ending this war?
I think this is exactly why people are pushing. I mean, different regional and international actors are pushing for something like this. I mean, first of all, obviously, any easing of the really tragic humanitarian situation we see in Gaza will be welcomed by all. This is a priority on a human level. But on a diplomatic level, the hope is that these days of quiet, 33 days, 40 days, etc., will create the space for a diplomacy that is not being conducted under the pressure of daily fighting and conflict. And the hope is that it will produce a permanent ceasefire. However, Hamas has to make some very tough decisions. I think it's a point of almost international unanimity with some outliers like Qatar, like Turkey, like Iran. But everyone understands that there is no place for Hamas after the war in Gaza. Hamas can end the war today if it decides, and Hamas has to decide if it's willing to leave Gaza, its leaders, its fighters. Then this could be the first step towards ending the war. If not, I fear that after the temporary ceasefire happens, there will be a resumption of the war. But the hope, at least in Washington, in Riyadh, in Cairo today, is that these 30 to 40 days of truce will give the possibility for a serious diplomatic initiative in that direction.
Okay, thank you so much for your time today and for your insights. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.